in the boundless skies above Ancient Bharat, amidst stars and celestial realms governed by gods and sages. One figure has captivated the imagination of sages, seers, and poets across ages: Chandra, the moon. This is not just a tale of a heavenly orb reflecting the sun's glow, but a deeply philosophical and symbol-rich saga that explains the mysteries of time, emotion, and cosmic justice through mythological narrative. The story of how Chandra lost his light is layered with symbolic truths that mirror human emotions, societal structures, and metaphysical doctrines. Central to Sanatana Dharma, Chandra, known also as Soma, is not merely a moon god, but the embodiment of cool beauty, romantic allure, emotional flux, and the Soma rasa, the elixir of immortality that nourishes the gods. Born of sage Atri and his virtuous wife, Anusuya, Chandra was said to have emerged from the cosmic churning of the ocean, or alternatively, from the great sacrifice performed by Brahma himself. With a luminous body of silver-white brilliance and a calm, radiant face, Chandra was admired not only for his physical beauty, but also for his ability to soothe minds, nurture crops, and regulate the rhythms of life through his waxing and waning cycles. In his celestial duties, Chandra was also assigned the role of timekeeper. As a Kalachakra bearer, his phases dictated the tithas, or lunar days, which became essential to Vedic rituals, harvests, festivals, and even personal horoscopes. But like many tales of divine beings, his story is not one of eternal perfection. The incident that led to Chandra Aya's fading glow begins with his marriage to the 27 daughters of Daksha Prajapati, the Nakshatras, or lunar constellations. These celestial women represented the segments through which Chandra passed in his monthly orbit, thereby giving the Vedic system its powerful astrological foundation. Yet, among these equally divine wives, Chandra showed partiality to Rohini, the brightest and most graceful of the Nakshatras. He spent more nights in her company, lavishing her with affection while neglecting the others. This favoritism, while understandable through a romantic lens, caused great sorrow and jealousy among the remaining sisters. They complained to their father, Daksha, who was known not only for his power, but also for his strict sense of dharma and justice. Daksha warned Chandra to treat all his wives equally, reminding him of the balance and harmony that celestial order demands. However, Chandra, enamored and perhaps blinded by his love for Rohini, continued his biased behavior, believing his divine stature protected him from consequence. Daksha, enraged by this continued disregard, pronounced a dreadful curse that Chandra's light would fade and he would slowly perish, becoming invisible to the eyes of gods and men. As the curse began to take effect, Chandra's brilliance started to wane. From a full orb of majestic glow, he diminished night by night, becoming pale and powerless, unable to fulfill his duties in the cosmos. The loss of light was more than symbolic. It threw the celestial order into disarray. Timekeeping became erratic. Crops suffered without his cooling beams, and human minds, so influenced by lunar energies, experienced unrest and confusion. Realizing the gravity of the curse and the chaos it had triggered, the gods and sages interceded. They urged Chandra to seek forgiveness and penance. In desperation and humility, Chandra turned to Lord Shiva, the god of transformation and the master of time and tides. Shiva, known for his deep meditation and supreme compassion, understood both the weight of Daksha's curse and the importance of Chandra's presence in the cosmic cycle. Moved by Chandra's repentance and the pleadings of the gods, Shiva offered a solution. He could not entirely lift the curse, for even divine acts bear consequence, but he could soften it. From that day onward, Chandra would wax and wane in a cycle, losing light for half the month and regaining it in the other half, symbolizing the eternal rhythm of decay and regeneration. To honor this act of redemption, and as a mark of Chandra's restored glory, Shiva placed him upon his own matted locks, allowing the crescent moon to adorn his head for eternity, thereby linking time wisdom and cosmic flow directly with the supreme consciousness. This event holds profound symbolic value in Indian cosmology. The moon's waxing and waning are not merely astronomical observations, but a representation of life's cycles, joy and sorrow, gain and loss, youth and old age, illusion and enlightenment. Chandra's favoring of Rohini and the subsequent curse illustrate the importance of balance, dharma, and the interconnectedness of all beings, even among the divine. It teaches that even the gods are not beyond karma, and that love, when expressed without fairness, can lead to imbalance and suffering. Chandra's story is also deeply embedded in the practice of astrology and medicine in Bharat. As the ruler of the mind and emotions in Jyotisha, Vedic astrology, Chandra governs the manas, or the reflective consciousness. His position in a person's chart indicates their emotional temperament, mental stability, and capacity for nurturing or attachment. When afflicted, as during the period of waning or during eclipses, he can cause confusion, depression, or instability. Ayurvedic medicine also views the moon as the balancer of Pitta, fire energy, with lunar influences being cooling, calming, and nourishing. Thus, the moon's cycles directly inform fasting days, treatments, and even conception timing in ancient Indian health practices. Festivals like Karva Chauth, Sharad Purnima, and Kojagiri Purnima are intimately tied to Chandra. On these nights, women fast and offer prayers to the moon for the well-being of their husbands. Communities gather under moonlight to celebrate the fullness of lunar grace. In these cultural acts, Chandra is more than a god. He is a living force, a participant in human affairs. The myth of his curse and redemption is reenacted in the phases of the moon each month, reminding the devotee of the eternal play between mistake and atonement, darkness and light, ego and surrender. Another dimension to this tale is Chandra's role as Soma, the divine elixir. The Vedas speak extensively of Soma, a mysterious drink pressed from an unknown plant, consumed by gods, and offered in fire rituals. Soma was not just a physical substance, but a metaphor for transcendental joy, spiritual ecstasy, and immortality. Chandra, as Soma, represents the nectar of consciousness that flows from the higher realms into the mind, enabling poetic vision, meditative absorption, and divine connection. When he lost his light, it symbolized the temporary withdrawal of this nectar, a spiritual drought that only devotion and divine grace could restore. Furthermore, Chandra's mythology expands into tales involving other deities. In the Mahabharata, he is said to be the father of Buddha, Mercury, born through his union with Tara, the wife of Brihaspati, the guru of the gods. This controversial liaison caused celestial tensions and wars, but it also led to the birth of Buddha, a planet deity representing intellect and communication. This lineage shows how the lunar principle, emotion, beauty, gives birth to the mercurial principle, reason, speech, again marrying myth with cosmic psychology. In Shaivism, Chandra's place on Shiva's head is seen as the mind-is subjugation to supreme consciousness. The crescent moon is a reminder that the changing, restless nature of the manas must be anchored to the still, eternal Shiva within us. For yogis, this iconography becomes an instruction for inner practice, to still the mind as phases and realize the unchanging self. Thus, How Chandra lost his light is far more than a myth. It is a multidimensional tale embedded in every aspect of Bharatiya life: astronomy, spirituality, medicine, art, and ritual. It teaches humility, balance, repentance, and the power of divine intervention. It links the heavens to the mind, the cosmos to consciousness, and the mistakes of a god to the lessons of humanity. It is a reminder that even when we lose our light through ego, desire, or misjudgment, the grace of transformation is always within reach if we turn inward, seek forgiveness, and surrender to a higher truth. Each night the moon returns to fullness is a retelling of Chandra's redemption, and each shadow he casts is a whisper of his past, showing us that in our darkest phases, we too hold the promise of light.